finally got an interview for the dream job, and after working with him, I got it, and it was simple and it was easy.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the journey.
Oh, has it helped? Yes, it absolutely has. It's definitely helped in knowing the market a lot better and knowing how to put myself out there. Like, I would never ever have touched my LinkedIn ever. I didn't see LinkedIn as a valuable resource at all. So in saying that, it already has proven to be.
It's what I say. I think you guys are great and change people's lives, and it makes a lot of difference.
You deliver at a very high level.
It was really enjoyable. You learn a lot. It was really easy going step by step.
You did? Questions before when they do. So that was, I think session 5, the interview session, if you ask me, was my favorite out of all the 6 sessions.
So it's not only helped me in my personal branding, but it's helped me now on the business side, where I feel very, very capable to go into,
Hey, super legends, superheroes, and superstars. Welcome to another live episode of the Hot Hire podcast. My name's Dre, and I'm so excited about today. So this next guest, I've been trying to get him on for a little while. And what I love about him is that he's been in the industry, so recruitment, for over 18 years. And he recruits recruiters, so he's an executive recruiter. Before I introduce him, just want to let you know that this is the #1 place if you're looking to move forward faster in your career. There's about a 20-second delay. So if you are watching live, oh man, put some emojis in the chat screen and let me know if you've got any questions for either myself or for my guest, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And if you're watching the replay, you know what to do, #replay. So without any further ado, actually, grab yourselves a cup of tea, cup of coffee, some biscuits, and a piece of paper, because we are about to tear it up. So I want to give a big, massive, ginormous welcome to Adrian Carty.
Oh, I'm really excited about myself after that, Dre. Thank you. That makes me feel good. If I was coming back a little flat after Christmas about getting into work for the new year, that's all I needed. So I hope I don't disappoint the audience for this, but you've built me up into a big one there. So hopefully this is good. How was your Christmas?
Yeah, my Christmas was really quiet, so a little bit sad. Well, not really that sad, but yeah, all my folks over in England. So I was literally working over Christmas. How about yourself?
Yeah, and we managed to get a good break. It was pretty restful. I was actually happy to come back to work. We can't come back to work last week because we didn't do a hell of a lot because we're trying to keep a low profile, as a lot of people have at the moment. So it was quiet. I'm rested and back ready to go.
Yeah, and you were really busy. So I remember when we spoke, you said that you were really busy in December. It's like one of your busiest months. And did you say it's not normal?
No, it's been interesting because I would say that over the last 2 years, and the vast majority of our clients have been the same, in that our clients are recruitment companies themselves. But normally, for the vast majority of recruiters in most markets, things tend to start to calm down or dwindle a little bit by early to mid-December, and take until mid to late January to pick back up again. But last 2 years, that hasn't been the case at all. It's been like Christmas Eve. I'm sad to say I was doing references for a recruiter that was over in the UK that was been offered a job after literally a 2-day process. So, or a 2 or 3 day process from first interview to offer to reference. So there's a huge, there's just a huge demand in the market in most sectors, not just recruiters, but in most sectors right now. So yeah, we were busy right up to Christmas Eve. Came back on the 4th, and you're pretty much straight back into it. So yeah, it's been busy, but it's been good busy.
That's awesome. So do you recruit all over the world then?
We do, and we can, like, and it's probably one of the learnings of the business over the time since I started it. Like initially, we did a lot of international work. We do less so now, and we've got a partner in the UK, we've got a partner in the US. So as we have recruiters, say in Australia or in Ireland or other markets we're networked in that might want to move to locations outside Australia, we tend to work with affiliates there that are well connected on the ground over there. Whereas in terms of most of our revenue comes from Australian-based businesses. A lot of it is on the east coast of Australia, be it Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane to a lesser extent. But yeah, you've got a lot as part of that. You've got a lot of, like that person I'm talking about was a recruiter in Leeds. He's had his working holiday visa approved. He moves here in February, and for the first time in 18 months, you've people coming from the UK again, able to get on flights, able to come in again, and yeah, it's nice. It's nice talking to people there who can physically get into the country again. So yeah, so that's our market essentially.
That's brilliant. All right, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, about your, like your background and like your career? And
yeah, sure. I haven't talked about myself, and I haven't gone back into early career for a long time. But yeah, like I'm from Ireland. I'm from country Ireland. I studied initially in a different area. I studied in sports and exercise science. That was my degree, and that was my passion and love when I was growing up. Did a master's in marketing, worked in marketing analytics for a couple of years. Before marketing analytics was really a thing, it's become a big thing in the last 10 years since I guess the internet has driven so much e-commerce. But I worked in it when it was before smartphones essentially. So worked in that for a couple of years, entered recruitment when I was 25. I've been doing it pretty much, I turned 45 later this year, so I've been doing it pretty much the last 20 years. Spent 6 years doing it in Ireland, spent the rest of the time doing it over here. I've worked in various markets over that time. In Ireland, I did a lot in accounting and finance and supply chain. Set up teams, set up offices there. Moved over to Australia, have ran a small, it wasn't that small, it was about 15, 20 people, financial services and insurance recruitment company prior to moving into Rec, and we're 10 years doing it, just in a couple of months actually, and that 10 years has gone really quickly. You kind of pinch yourself when you look at time, but that's a brief synopsis of the career journey.
I love that, and yeah, congratulations on 10 years. That is huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah, it is, and it's the longest I've ever been in one business or one role. I haven't moved. To be fair, my CV is reasonably solid in that I worked for 2 years out of university in marketing. I moved out of that to career change into recruitment. The only reason I left my first job was I moved to Australia. I was headhunted for a more senior opportunity for when I left my first job, and then after doing that senior role, I set up a business. So I think I've had 4 positions in 18 or whatever 20 years. So I've not moved around a lot during that time. But yeah, 10 years doing this is definitely making me feel old.
And then, so when I was in recruitment, I went in for, I believe it was like a sales job, and the lady said to me, "Oh, Dre, have you ever thought about like recruitment?" I was like, "No." She was like, "Oh, I reckon you'd make a good recruiter." Did anything like that happen to you? Because I know that it happens to a lot of people when they go for it.
No, that's exactly what happened to me, and it happens. Yeah, it happens a lot, even in our markets now. So I had spent 2 years in marketing, and I enjoy marketing, and we'll probably talk a little bit later about the social media side of things. So I enjoyed working in marketing. I was working for a large corporate at the time. Wanted to take a next step, wanted to increase my salary, wanted to earn more money, and I guess realized, okay, the way you do that in a marketing environment is you have to waste your time, you have to bide your time, you have to manage people, you have to lead bigger teams, and that's pretty much the way you work your way up in that industry. So now I visited a recruitment company to find out what my options were in marketing, and then about 3 to 4 weeks later, they called me about recruitment. Would this interest you as an option? And it was really just probably the foresight of the. Well, foresight might be the wrong word, but I met a banking recruiter called Alan Blewett, who has his own recruitment business in Dublin for the last good number of years. I guess he saw something in me that he thought could translate well into recruitment. He suggested it to the founders of the business, did an assessment center, and started with them. Basically, that's how I found my way into it. But yeah, like ultimately for me at the time was I absolutely wanted a job that there was a clear link between what I earned and how much work I did. I was kind of reasonably competitive background, and I didn't get that from marketing, and that's why I moved, and that was my initial rationale.
Awesome. All right, so because you recruit recruiters, is it the same as recruiting, like, I guess, other people, or like normal people in other markets?
Yeah.
Sort of...
It's an interesting question, that one, because of course, recruitment is just one job of many that recruitment companies tend to place. So I think sometimes there's an absolute perception that recruiters are going to be hard to work with, that they know the tricks, they know when you're trying to pull the wool over their eyes, or they know when you're trying to do a sales line or trying to push them down a particular path. But the reality is, over my time doing it, 95% of the people we operate in this space really respectful of the process, really see the value in it, and it's very much like any other market. It's most similar, if I had to look at markets, it's most similar to placing accountants into accounting firms, placing lawyers into law firms. It's just one part of professional services where the dynamics are very candidate driven. So if you're a lawyer and you're working in practice and you want to stay in practice, you'll have plenty of opportunities to move internationally, to work with another practice here in Sydney or elsewhere. It's the same if you're in accounting, probably the same if you're in management consulting. Recruiters are a little bit the same if you're in financial planning. So recruitment is similar to that on agency side. It's very much candidates can sit down with you and have a conversation about, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want out of a culture or leadership group or a desk or a company style or whatever it might be. And we can come back to them with opportunities that meet what they need. Whereas a lot of finance, let's say accounting recruitment, which I started off in commerce, was a lot more, this is the job and find the person. Whereas recruitment on the agency side is a lot more, this is the person, let's create an opportunity around them. So that's the only way it probably differs to quite a lot of other markets, which can be quite job driven and based around what the client needs.
Awesome, thank you. So at the level that you're at, is recruitment still champagne and razor blades? So I know when I was in it at the early stages, it was, you had the real high highs, but then you also had the lows when the client would maybe not tell you about, that he had another job offer, or he or she wasn't completely upfront. So are you still able to sort of control the process, and is it more highs than lows, or is it?
Yeah. Let me defer that question for a second, Trey, because I've just noticed I need to plug this in because my battery's running low. Give me one moment.
All right. Guys, just a reminder, so if you're watching the replay, don't forget to put #replay, and you can put in your questions afterwards as well, and let us know what you thought of the show as well. And also, if you're interested in getting into recruitment, so I've got a friend in Brisbane. She is looking for a gun recruiter to go internally, so working for one of the leading building products companies in Australia. So if you are interested, or you know someone that might be suitable, drop me a message on Facebook, LinkedIn, or even send me an email at ceo@dreymclaughlin.com. All right, so I'm just thinking I could drop a dad joke, but I've got some pretty bad ones at the moment. All right. And also, guys, this episode is going to be uploaded onto all of the audio platforms. So that will be uploaded a couple of days after that. So I'll be on Spotify, Google, Apple, and all the others. You still there, Adrian? Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, don't forget, if you've got any questions, yeah, drop them into the chat. I get most of them on the comment section. Oh, okay. All right. I'm riding solo, so Adrian's dropped out, so he will be back in a minute, and just gonna have to fill the space. So earlier on, so about an hour ago or over an hour ago, I had a Alex Katowski. I've probably completely butchered his second name. So he's a recruitment manager for a digital recruitment firm. And I'm going to get him back. So he actually missed it. So today has been, I guess it looks like it's going to be one of those days, but it is going to get better. So all right. Also, guys, if you need any help building your personal brand, if you want to know, what I do, hit me up. I've got lots of free resources. I've got a group on Facebook which is called Authority Branding. In that group, it's absolutely fire. I think we're about 35 people, from being up to about 1,000 people in the group, which is huge. There's so many resources in there. So there's lots of personal development under the guide section. There's so many audio books. So if you're interested in personal development, whether that might be sales, marketing, so much information in there. And there's also, I've got 3 free resources in there as well. So I've got a book about interviews, which is a published book that I've written, and I've got a guide to 5 steps to build your personal brand. All right, I'm just going to check my phone, just make sure that Adrian's all right. Okay, cool. So he's just trying to get the link back up, and he apologizes. So he should be here in a second. Also, in about 40 minutes, I'm going to be doing another podcast with my main man, Chi. So I call him the Malaysian Prince. So he used to be a chartered accountant and a certified financial planner. And now he is a peak performance coach. And man, I'm just really interested to talk to him, because from being an accountant to being a coach, they are 2 complete different personalities. So I want to find out all about his journey, how he helps his clients, how his coaching market is over in Australia. All right, looks like we've got Adrian back. All right, let's get him back. My mouse isn't working. Here we go. All right.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, my laptop died, so it's back in action. So apologies.
No, that's all good. I'm just filling the space with I guess probably just sort of white noise. All right, I'm trying to think where we're
going back about champagnes and razor blades. I think that was where we left it off. So yeah, I don't think that has changed. I think for a lot of recruiters starting off, it's particularly in the first 2 to 3 years, as they get to know the job and get to know the market. You got to get used to a lot of disappointment. You got to get used to a lot of ups and downs. And 20 years later, I'm not any better at it than I was in the first year. Most people aren't. It's hard to shake off disappointment when stuff falls over. It's hard, but that's probably part of what kind of fits into the drive you have in the first place to want to do it. If you weren't disappointed when things went wrong, or you didn't achieve outcomes or achieve results, you probably wouldn't do the job for a long period of time. So yeah, I think I think it's par for the course. And again, I suppose when we're talking to recruiters or even managing recruiters or bringing them along, a lot of the time you're hoping that they'll focus on the process and let the outcome look after itself. Hope that if you're doing the right things and you're controlling what you can control and not necessarily worrying about the stuff you can't control, then you're probably mentally you're going to be able to do it a lot better than if you're focused on the outcome or focused on stuff that's outside your control. Because there's loads of things that'll happen along the way that's going to disappoint you. So that's how you react to that and how you manage that. But it hasn't changed since your time, Dre.
All right, so can we talk about marketing and branding? So actually, firstly, I want to say sorry because whenever I'm tagging someone, so when I'm doing a post or replying to someone's post on LinkedIn, I'll tag that person, but you're always, because your name begins with A, you're always that second person. And I know that there's been so many times where I've accidentally tagged you and you're probably thinking, why is Dre?
I've liked it when it's even if it's not directly relevant, it's always good. You put entertaining stuff out there, so no, happy to be tagged, even if it's accidental. I guess I get I'm not the place for them now, but I get loads of 2 or 3 times a year. I get random text messages from people who it's not meant to, because my name is often the first on the alphabet list on the phone, so that's not the first.
Yeah. Right. So your personal brand. So I'm really impressed, like how you've built your personal brand to over, like on LinkedIn, to over 21,000 people. And I was doing some research like a few weeks before Christmas, and I contacted like hundreds of recruiters to get on some research calls, and the majority of them only had about maybe say 1,000 or 2,000 connections. You are way above anybody that I saw. So can you tell us like how you've built your personal brand and like how you market yourself and how you go about it?
Yeah, I can. And I think I think I started looking at it seriously about 5 years ago. And really thinking, and it was probably around the time that LinkedIn really changed from a resume platform to a more content-driven platform, and like there's certainly I don't think it was innovative in terms of that. There was people putting out good content a long time before me. So, but I think I recognize it as an opportunity to change how I was communicating, because typically before I used LinkedIn initially like most recruiters use it. You post about jobs you have on, you might advertise a job, and you get limited traction. You get maybe 20 engagements, and most of the time it's from people you work with or your friends or people who are being nice and wanting to support you. I guess I then changed my philosophy around taking it a bit more seriously and being a lot more strategic in terms of how you think about content and who you want to engage and how you want to engage them. So I think there was a lot of trial and error along the way in that. But I guess the biggest things I've learned through doing it, I think you need to be consistent, because if you're not consistently putting content out there, you're not going to build a following, or you're not going to build engagement. So I know I find a lot of recruiters who are on a journey that they think, okay, I want to improve my profile or my online profile or my LinkedIn profile or whatever channel they choose to use, to be excited about it, say now after Christmas, and to think, okay, this is something I'm going to really focus on. And the reality for a lot of recruiters tend to think in months and tend to think in quarters. And if it's not, if there's a result not there at the end of the quarter, walk away, or don't give it a huge amount more effort. Whereas if you're doing something more marketing based, which this is, and this is a lot of my kind of background in marketing, it's a long, slow game whereby it's not immediate results, it's not obvious results, but yeah, if you're consistently putting out relevant stuff over that time, relevant content, and you're doing it towards kind of in my case, I'm not overly extroverted. I'm not in it to gain 20,000 followers who don't work in recruitment. I'm interested in 20,000 followers who do work in the market I'm in, because I'm not doing it for my own ego or my sense of satisfaction of someone like that. I'd be a lot more interested if someone calls me who works in my market and then my message resonates with them, because because a lot of people think you need to be a certain personality type in order to put out a lot of content, because you gotta, to a certain extent, you need a level of braveness to put your message out there, because it's going out to the populace and you're putting yourself out for criticism and people who won't like it, or some of the people who don't engage with what you are. So I think that's the first step, being confident enough to put stuff out there, do it consistently, and then have in my view, certainly it's about engaging with people that want to be engaged with, as opposed to mass market stuff that could engage anyone. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that was why, I guess, the reason I took it seriously is it's got a big commercial impact for our business. If I've got 20,000 followers as opposed to 1,000 followers, and most of them work in recruitment and most of them move around, it helps. It just helps grow your profile in the market. It helps grow your knowledge, people who know you in the market. And in our market, particularly because it's very candidate driven, all it requires is a certain number of people each month or each year who contact you because they become aware of you via that channel, and it's commercially very, there's a very good return on it. So I guess that's why I built it.
I love that 100%. All right, so say for instance, do you have any advice for if there's any recruiters that, they've come back after Christmas and they're not liking their company, and they're thinking that they want to take that next step, but they might be a little bit scared, or do you have any advice for someone like that?
Yeah. So I think the first, that's one of the benefits of recruitment to recruitment industry, is that you can have those initial conversations without necessarily making a commitment to moving. There's a lot of there's right reasons and there's wrong reasons for moving. In some cases, it's because that's our starting point with probably every candidate. And often, if someone comes to meet you and you assess what their situation is and why they've come to you and why they might be a bit dissatisfied, in a certain percentage of cases, you'd be telling that person, even though you could place them and you could get a commercial benefit from it, you'd be telling them you're probably better off staying where you are, because the challenges you're having are no different to the challenges you'll have anywhere else. Whereas in other cases, it's very much someone's in the wrong market, they're with the wrong leader, they're in the wrong culture, they're in a desk. Probably the biggest area in our market is recruiters probably not working in a desk that fits their style. Because there's certain parts of the market that are very, we'll say, search driven, it's slow paced, it suits a certain communication style. There's other markets that is totally different, so where it plays to other people's strengths. And it's the same across all aspects of the job. Some people are very good at sourcing, at candidate engagement. Other people love the client side, and there's a lot of jobs that aren't necessarily just pure 360 roles now in recruitment. Most recruitment companies are probably splitting up the job of a recruiter and trying to play to the strengths of the people within their business. So yeah, listen, I would say to anyone who's sort of unsure is have an initial conversation, work it out, brainstorm it with the likes of someone like myself or someone in the industry. Talk to friends, talk to mentors, talk to people about what the issues are, and work through it from there. The reality is in this market, the challenge is never finding a job. There's hundreds and hundreds, thousands of recruitment jobs out there. So if someone moves, they'll be inundated with options they can go to. The key to finding success here is working out what's going to be the best fit from a company point of view, from a desk and market point of view, and setting yourself up for success in that way. And I guess that's where our experience comes into play, because you've seen people from a variety of backgrounds transfer successfully and sometimes unsuccessfully into different markets. So yeah, my advice would be just have a conversation, brainstorm it. No need to do anything proactive. Just sit down, just talk about your situation and assess it would be what I'd advise someone to do.
Awesome. All right. So if people want to get hold of you, what is the best way?
It's easy. It's easy. It's relatively easy to get me locked in. Actually, Pam, in the office today, so it's more straightforward on these days than the days I work from home. But yeah, mobile, email, LinkedIn. I'll be back to you same day or next day. That's not much extra long to get me.
Awesome. All right, final question. Is there anything that you'd like to leave the audience with, whether that's, I'm obsessed with dad jokes, so whether that's a dad joke, a quote, something motivational, inspirational, or just like anything at all, or any advice or guidance?
I don't know. It's actually there was something that happened. I'll leave it with this. It's not quite a dad joke, but I was working home from home on Friday, and I was doing a VC with a particular candidate who worked in a market that I didn't really understand and I hadn't been exposed to before. So I was just saying to him, I said, just treat me like an idiot and just tell me, just break this down. And then my 9-year-old son pops up, who's in the background, and is like, because you are an idiot on the VC. So I'll leave you with that. The wisdom of kids can sometimes be funny as you work from home. But that'd be my half dad joke, half real life experience from last Friday.
I love that, Adrian. Yeah, just want to say a massive thank you to you for giving up your time. Because I know like how busy you are, all the value and like sharing your career story, giving those tips, and just want to say good luck for the rest of this year. Keep impacting, keep inspiring, keep motivating, just keep doing what you do. So I appreciate you.
Okay, well, great. No, thank you very much. Your energy is infectious. Thanks for inviting me on, and I wish you well this year, and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm trying to end the broadcast, but my mouse isn't working. So, all right, guys, tune in next time. Thanks, mate.
Okay, see you.